Whoa, 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 hey, relax. You're safe. No one here is gonna hurt you. Look at me, look at me. That maniac is gone. We saved you right in the nick of time. You're 100% safe. I swear upon my old grand slippers. Well, I suppose introductions are in order. My name is Corporal Valdal Underblossom. I'm with a group of independent mercenaries named Wyvern Detachment. And as you can tell by my accent and the fact I'm barely taller than your nightstand, I'm a halfling. I'm 20 years of age, and I was born in Camrain in the Empire of Slimeth. There's 7 of us, plus Rusty, the machine gunner's dog. We've taken up temporary residence on this island. It belongs to Dr. Ben-Hal Lixwide, you know, the famous natural philosopher and inventor, and he just so happens to be my personal idol. We aided him in warding off some sea raiders that were attacking his island, so he paid us back by letting us stay while we're conducting our business in the archipelago. You don't exactly have scaly skin or gills, so I doubt you're from here. That means you must be a tourist, like the rest of my group and I. How'd you end up on Kainu'u, despite the warnings about that place? I see. You were on a cruise ship and it crashed. Dreadful bad luck. I'm glad we were able to save you, as well as a few others that were captured by Lysarth there. Yes, that evil maniac's name was Lysarth there. I'm not quite sure what he was going to do to you. Judging by those horrifying creatures we encountered on the island, you're probably going to be one of them. Or maybe one of his art exhibits. As someone who paints, sketches and designs things, I can assure you, disfigured and mutilated bodies are not art. And yet, he propped them up around his island as if he was proud of them. Well, he removed one of your arms. I'm sorry, but there's no need to worry. We're planning to fix that, actually. Dr. Lixwide gave Maruska and I some ideas, and we're working on a magically powered prosthetic arm for you. I promise, it'll be as good as new. Who's Maruska? Aren't you curious? She's the team's medic and sorceress. She's a fawn from a place to the far north called Dubovka. And she's my best friend. She's busy enchanting the stone that will power your new arm, but I'm sure she'll love to meet you. Probably because she loves talking to her patients. Yup. While your rescue was a team effort, she was the one that kept you stable and helped to heal your wounds. I went to Graviel University 4 years ago. I was part of a special program for those with, let's say, exceptional skills. Maruska and I attended some of the same classes, and we started going to lunch together, and we became best friends. She was fresh off the boat from Dubovka, and barely knew common speak. So, I helped to teach her. She's like a big sister to me. Anyway, after I go, she'll probably come in to check on you. But for now, you wouldn't mind if this tiny scholar kept you company, would you? In fact, the doctor brewed some tea for the both of us. Maruska said I should give you some moral support, and I of course agreed. It's lavender and boreal mandrake. I can add some honey if you like. I know losing an arm is a major thing, and considering what you've been through, I can imagine the trauma will stay with you for quite some time. I knew the new arm will help, but it's not flesh and blood like your old one. Again, I'm sorry about your misfortune, and what you had happen to you. We're staying on this island for a while, I think. Perhaps a few months. While the crew and I are back here and not on missions and whatnot, I'll definitely be sure to visit you. And Dr. Lixwide is a rich man on account of his many, many inventions. I'm sure he'll be able to get you back home after all this. Come with us. I'm sorry, but no. You can't, I'm afraid to say. Because I want you to live a happy and long life, and not have to deal with what we've dealt with. Cults, undead soldiers, necromancers, monsters, and more recently, insane artists. I doubt you have any combat or survival training. It's a very dangerous world out there. I know what those little novels that just cost a few coins describe, but that's not the reality. One of us died back when we were in Remilia, right before we set sail for here. For your sake, it's best you go home and live life to the fullest. I'm sorry if I brought down the mood. When I explain things, I like to drill it into the person's head, so they won't forget. You seem like a good person, with a lot of people who love you. So, live a good life. You're bound to meet the rest of us during your stay here, so feel free to say hi to the others. Who are the others? Well, there's Sharagat. She's an orc from the Wildlands, and our machine gunner and trench raider. She may look terrifying, but she's another really close friend. Sure, she's 7 feet tall and, well, an orc. But she's really sweet. And when you see her, tell her you're a friend of mine. She saw you on the boat ride here when we rescued you. Avoid her hugs, though. You still need to heal, and her embrace could easily break your spine. I already told you about Maruska, but then there's Tyven. Tyven is complicated. He's our leader after our first leader died. That man was like a father to Tyven, and he's still dealing with it. Tyven's a half-elf, but unlike most of his kind, he wasn't born into wealth. Oh no, he grew up on the streets before he was taken in by his mentor, Blaine. Funnily enough, Tyven met Blaine after Blaine noticed he had been pickpocketed, and so he caught Tyven. Instead of beating Tyven up or reporting him to the authorities, Blaine took him in as a son. I think the rest of the group being around Tyven has changed him for the better, and we're still trying to help him heal. You know, I've known Tyven for about 1.5 years now, and he was a real jerk to everyone in the group. He'd even bully Sharagat for being an orc. But now, he's making good choices. I like this new Tyven. You know that's not even his name. Well, technically that's his last name. The guy's full name is Albereth Tyven, but he likes to be addressed as Captain or just Tyven. I think he's at our ship trading with Francisca, our sniper. She's a Dratzenbergian. You know, the cat-eared people who talk all funny. And when they train, she sometimes even hits him when he forgets certain combat techniques. But it's never really out of malice. She says that's how she was trained in the army. She told me she's about 48, but I don't believe her. She looks around my age, and she's really pretty. Apart from always scolding Tyven, she gets along well with us, and I like to think I have a good back and forth with her. I'm her subordinate, but I get to call her Furball, and she gets to call me some Dratzenbergian gibberish. I believe she calls me Vrigatin Kleitz, meaning little weirdo. I mean, she's not wrong. So, that's about all of us. Sorry to talk your ear off, friend. It's just been a while since I've talked to anyone outside my squad. It's been a daunting road. Although I remain optimistic. I'm sure we'll save the world. Did I just say that? Well. Keep that to yourself, okay? How's the tea? Hopefully the mandrake isn't too overpowering. Good to hear it's alright. I take tea very seriously, due to my halfling heritage. Tea time is very important, even if you don't like tea. It's good to set some time aside for yourself during a busy day. Helps keep me sane, to be honest. This room? It's beautiful, isn't it? It belonged to Dr. Lixwide's granddaughter. She's a famous singer, and she left the island to pursue her career. She still talks to him via letters and telegrams. You know, I could stay in contact with you if you wish. Here, I like to make these little animals made out of brass. I've given them out to the entire group. They're not a perfect invention, but they're effective. So, these little animals are very good at long-distance communication. If you put your ear to a built-in speaker on the animal, you'll hear someone talking to you. Things like the volume can be adjusted. You can tune it to where you can get information at a very low volume, like a whisper. I've only really made them for special contacts like Dr. Lixwide and members of our group. But I like talking to you. I'll try to set up some free time and then we can talk. Here, I've been working on this one. It's a Bahazi jerboa. The little hopping rodents with antlers. Oh, feel free to name it whatever you like. What's my brass animal? Funny you should ask. It's quite cliché for an academic type like myself. An owl. I'm not sure if this outpaces the telegraph or utterance boxes, but I'm quite proud of my invention. You know, and don't take this the wrong way. You've got a real twinkle in your eye. Like, something tells me you're bound to do amazing things. There's something about you that makes me want to keep going. I'm loyal to the group and to Tyven, but I'll be honest with you. I joined up with Wyvern Detachment for adventure, and to make money to fund more of my own research. I grew up a very sheltered child on account of where I lived. Let's just say us halflings tend to be born, get married, and die in the same hometown. Apart from a few exceptions like myself, we like the comforts of home instead of some silly adventure that could get us hurt, or worse. I wanted to become a mercenary because I wanted adventure. Simple as. Maruska came with me out of a mix of gratitude and friendship. And she said she wants to protect me no matter what. But I feel very guilty. We've all seen things that will haunt us. After everything I've seen this past year and a half, the blood, the horror, I've been thinking about just leaving, just giving up, cutting my losses. There's something in your survival story, something in those observant eyes of yours. It makes me realize I can continue on this journey, that my colleagues, no, my friends, need me. Oh, here's Rusty. Oh, you know, for a big and tough dog, you act like such a big baby when you want attention. Yep, this is the team's mascot. Although, according to Franziska, I come in at a close second. Rusty wants to give you some kisses if you let him. Such a fascinating dog. One moment he wants to cover complete strangers in kisses, and the other, he's ripping the throat out of some bandits. Sharagat met him when he was just a little puppy. Maruska and I met Sharagat before the others. Maruska suggested we also use him as a mercy dog too. What's a mercy dog? Well, mercy dogs are pretty much battlefield angels. They deliver medicine to the wounded and sick soldiers, and they look for the missing and the dead. And they bring welcome stress relief outside of battle. Plus, this pup's huge, so you'd imagine what he could do to a baddie. He's a North Slamothian bear terrier. As the name suggests, he can keep up and fight with bears. The scariest thing I've seen him do is kill half an entire pack of bar guests. You know, those spectral dogs that tear unlucky travellers at night to shreds? They were looking to descend upon our camp while we were in the wildlands. We were all resting and Rusty saved us all after we heard him tearing the bar guests apart. And that's why this dog is the best. Anyway, Rusty, away with you. Give my best wishes to Sharagat. Hey, so you're a person, right? Like, a normal person. No, I mean like, you've had life experiences and such. Edmeri Day is coming up. You may not have heard of it, it's a holiday among us halflings. Edmeri is a goddess that was worshipped before the Thalian Church came to power in Slimeth. An instatement of worship of the one above was established. Edmeri was a goddess of love and rituals like weddings, funerals, and different coming-of-age ceremonies and events. She's worshipped as a saint today rather than a goddess as she once was, but her holiday is really important to us halflings. Thing is, Dr. Lixwide is holding a party for the first time in 10 years since his granddaughter left. He seems to be in really good spirits. He's inviting the village that built up around his estate to the party, as well as us in Wyvern Detachment. I bet he'll come in and tell you you're invited too. That is, of course, if you're feeling well enough to come. I'm sure your arm will be ready by then. Anyway, I don't want you to go blabbing about this, but There's someone I like in my group. No, despite how close I am with Maruska, she's more of a big sister. And besides, she prefers women. Sharagat and Tyvan, on the surface, kind of seem like they don't like each other. But they lost in a game of cards to Franziska, who dared them to go dancing at the party should they lose. And so they did. That leaves me in a sort of position I've never really been in. By arrows, I hope she's not listening. I've never really been attracted to, well, anyone. Until Franziska. For most of my life, I've just been glued to my inventions and research, projects and all that. I've never really considered a courtship. The very thought of holding hands is scary to me. And yeah, Franziska is rough around the edges, and a loner, and likes to beat the crap out of Tyvan, and halflings and Dratzenbergians don't have the best history, and she calls me the little weirdo, and well, you get it. She and I are really good friends, and maybe it's just me being hopeful, but there's possible signs she likes me too. She said I was strikingly handsome for a half-pint, and she likes to tussle my hair when I'm not wearing my hat, so I sometimes don't wear it around her. And even though she looks my age, she's still apparently 48, and she knows more about this love thing than I do. Do you know how I can tackle this? Do I write her a prose poem? Invent a world-changing invention and name it after her? I'm really worried. But be myself? But I'm, you know, half her height and weird? If you insist, I guess I'll be myself. But like, what do I do? Ask her to dance? We're close, but not as close as Maruska and I. You know what? I should suck it up and ask her. You're right. And thank you. You're the best. I'm immensely glad I took the time to talk to you. Like I said, I'll be here for a while, and you still have that brass jerboa. My temporary office is located on the 3rd floor of the manor. Just look at the door that has a sign that says, "Do not disturb. Research in progress." You have my official permission to disturb me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the tea. Maruska should be in at any second now. And hey, it was really nice meeting you. See you later, my new friend.